Hey everybody, it's Jack and welcome back to another video. I'm super excited for today's video. It is going to be another penny stock video. However, it's going to be a little bit different than some of the previous videos here on my channel because I actually got the opportunity to sit down and chat with the co-founder and COO of an exciting Canadian company. I got the opportunity to ask some questions and learn more about this company straight from the source, which I think is super valuable. The company we'll be chatting about today is a disruptive artificial intelligence company that deals in the health and safety space. So this is a company that is right on the crossroads of the technology and healthcare sectors, which I think offers a lot of growth potential in the years to come. As somebody who comes from a software engineering background and actually specialized in artificial intelligence, I was super excited to do this interview and ask the co-founder of this company some questions. This technology company uses its AI solutions to screen for things such as infectious diseases, as well as alcohol and cannabis impairment, and it's even building out a business vertical and technology solution for mental health screening. So a lot of really cool applications that use AI and technology to really help solve some real world problems that we are currently facing in today's world. So really exciting opportunities. So I won't leave you hanging any longer. The company in question is Predictmedix, and it trades in Canada under the ticker symbol PMED, PMED. Quickly touching on the stock price for Predictmedix, it currently trades at 52 cents Canadian per share and has a market cap of just over $50 million. So this is a fairly small cap company that we're talking about and going over today. And if we look at the stock chart for the past 6 months, we can see that for the past 3 months, Predictmedix has been doing very well, going from around 25 cents per share to up to where it currently stands at 52 cents. So it's definitely starting to see some upwards momentum. And this is mainly due to their infectious disease screening AI solution, as it's really started to pick up steam and really starting to sign new contracts. It seems like these guys are in the news nonstop, signing new contracts all across North America, as well as in India. A demo of Predictmedix fully automated and contactless screening system AI solution can be seen on screen. You literally just step up to the screening station, look up, and cameras and sensors capture the data, which then allows the AI algorithm to make its prediction, and it then gives a positive or negative response so that the proper protocols can be initiated. It's a solution that can be easily implemented in any building, common area, or entrance. So that's a little background on Predictmedix. Let's now hop into the interview. Alrighty, awesome guys. So today I have the pleasure of sitting down with a very special guest, none other than the COO and co-founder of an exciting Canadian technology company, Predictmedix. So Rahul Kushwaha, welcome.
Thanks, Jack. It's a pleasure being on.
Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to sit down with me. So funny enough, my background is in software engineering. I actually just graduated software engineering and specialized in artificial intelligence, which is kind of at the core of what you guys do. So I was really excited about this opportunity to sit down with you. So why don't you quickly just touch on, we'll get right into the questions here, what exactly it is that people who might not know what Predictmedix does as a company and a business, why don't you quickly just touch on what it is that you guys do?
Oh, for sure. So at Predictmedix, we are developing AI-powered solutions that are actually designed to impact the world by solving real-world problems. So we have developed technologies that can screen for cannabis and alcohol impairment in a no-touch fashion without the use of any biological agent. Similarly, we have developed technologies to screen for symptoms of infectious diseases, which is very timely considering the pandemic we are in. We're also developing a solution to screen for mental health disorders because the diagnosis as of now is extremely subjective. At the same time, we have a remote patient monitoring platform that we are repurposing for clinical trials. And we are also in the midst of an acquisition of certain complementary technologies here in Canada, which not only provides a new revenue stream for us, but also adds to the arsenal in terms of the market that we are going after.
Okay, yeah, wow. I'm a huge nerd for this kind of stuff, and it really excites me with my background in technology. And I really like what you mentioned, that it's not just one business vertical that you guys are going after over at Predictmedix. I like that you have multiple different business verticals and streams. You mentioned, yes, you have the infectious disease screening at the forefront, but you also mentioned how you have impairment screening for alcohol and cannabis, as well as mental illness screening. I find those are also really exciting niches for the AI solution. Can you maybe just quickly touch on what stage of the overall commercialization process or pipeline that each one of these revenue streams or business verticals are currently at, whether it be research and development, testing, commercialized, things like that?
Oh, absolutely. So when it comes to our solution to screen for symptoms of infectious diseases, that solution has been fully commercialized. We are signing a lot of contracts as we speak. We have announced 2 contracts already, and both of them were actually in 6 figures. So that solution is fully commercialized. We are expanding across North America and several other jurisdictions with our partners. And when it comes to our alcohol and impairment solution, now we're starting to commercialize that solution as well. We're in the process of finalizing an agreement with one of the large drug testing suppliers here in North America. And as you can imagine, the target market that they have been working with is pretty much the market for our impairment solution.
Yep.
Because our impairment solution is a screening solution that goes hand in hand with drug tests. So as we speak, that's happening right now. When it comes to the mental health screening solution, that is still in the R&D phase.
Yep.
And part of the reason is, COVID. On one hand, it has been a business opportunity for us. On the other
Yep.
hand, it has somewhat impacted data collection when it comes to the mental health solution. The reason being, when you talk about the healthcare facilities, their focus right now is COVID-19. Nevertheless, we are working on a beta solution for our mental health disorder technology, and we do expect to initiate some pilots sometime within this year. Along with that, when it comes to our remote patient monitoring solution, we are repurposing the solution as we speak, so it is going to be launched this year. And when it comes to the acquisition, right now we are doing our due diligence, and we should be
Yep.
anticipating to close that within the next few weeks. So again, and the other thing that I'll add there is, the contracts that we have announced so far, one of them
Yep.
is actually with a large real estate owner, a commercial real estate owner based out of Calgary, Alberta, and Edmonton. The other one we have announced is with Flow Water. So these are multi-unit and multi-year contracts, but at the same
Yep.
time, these entities, they are keen on the impairment solution.
Okay, cool.
They do have an option of switching to the impairment solution whenever they like, especially with Flow Water.
Okay, that's really nice that you have clients and customers who want multiple different solutions and not just one specific one. That's really nice. So because of my background in artificial intelligence and technology in general, I have to ask this question out of pure curiosity and for my own sake. I know when it comes to artificial intelligence solutions and technology, that there's always a big question about explainability. So why the AI or technology is making certain predictions or deciding certain things. So how does that come into play with your solutions over at Predictmedix? Is there certain confidence thresholds that you guys aim to meet? And just to clarify, you guys aren't actually doing the actual diagnosis with your devices. You're working more as just a screen or a flagging system. Is that right?
Yeah, so our technology is a screening technology, but eventually we do plan on becoming a diagnostic technology. So again, down the road, what we are envisioning is that on one hand, we offer the screening solutions, but at the same time, we do want to have a revenue stream focused on diagnostics. But again, as you can imagine, with AI, there is a bit of a lack of clarity when it comes to diagnosis, especially from the health authority standpoint.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we are working with some major institutions to collect data and to further train and refine our algorithms such that they become more diagnostic in nature. But as
Yep.
it stands right now, what we are finding is that the market for screening solutions, whether it's COVID-19, infectious diseases, or impairment, that in itself is actually potentially a multi-billion-dollar market globally as we speak.
Yep, that makes sense for sure. So you touched on it a little bit, the different business opportunities and customers or contracts that you guys are currently signing. This is one of the things that really excited me when I was doing research on you guys. You guys are a fairly small company when it comes to the big scale, but can you maybe touch on, I know you guys are working with some Fortune 500 companies, so some much larger companies, as well as some pretty established academic universities and such. Can you maybe just touch on this a little bit and some of the deals you guys are doing?
Of course. So far, in terms of the major contracts that we have announced from the North American perspective, that was Flow Water and Aspen Properties.
Yep.
But clearly, there is definitely a lot more in the pipeline. There are some other markets that we are getting into now where we did not think we were going to be needed a few months ago, and that
Yep.
is actually happening as we speak. So over the next few weeks, there are definitely going to be some major announcements, and again, all those announcements are going to be focusing on contracts, and these contracts are going to be focused particularly in North America. But along with that, when you look at the landscape of South Asia and particularly India, I mean,
Yep.
the entire country, as we speak, has completely been devastated because of COVID-19. I mean, we are talking about like this variant that has two mutations, and now there is a discovery of a third variant, which potentially has three different mutations compared to the initial strain of COVID-19. So, as we speak, with one of the major healthcare facilities in India, one of our units is actually going live in a matter of days, and part
Oh,
of that
awesome.
is to get our hands on the data as it pertains to this new variant. Because in this particular facility, I mean, they're getting a lot of patients who are coming in, they're getting
I'm sure.
tested, they're being identified to carry the new variant. But for us, it's the big data that we are collecting around it, and that is something which goes live in a matter of days.
Yeah, awesome. That was actually one of the things I wanted to touch on and ask you because I noticed that you guys are doing a lot of business deals and work down in India, which with everything going on down there right now and the current situation, it seems more prevalent than ever that your solutions might be a huge help down there. I also wanted to touch on and ask about the recent letter of intent to acquire Simtipass, another smaller company. Can you maybe touch on this and explain how you see this helping out Predictmedix business model, as well as from a financial standpoint, how this is going to help grow the company?
Oh, absolutely. So when you look at Simtipass, I mean, these guys are based out of Ottawa. They have developed a few proprietary technologies which are designed all about. I mean, the design is all about having people go back into the workforce, or it's about targeting the travel and tourism sector. So those technologies actually complement our screening technologies really well, because then in totality, what we're talking about is a technology package that takes care of everything from A to Z when you talk about a workplace scenario. And at the
Yep.
same time, it's important to note that when you look at Simtipass, last year they had revenues of around 2.2, $2.3 million.
Oh, wow.
They were profitable, and they have contracts with some major players in US and Canada, including at the government level. And similarly, this year so far, they have signed on some major contracts as well. And as far as the transaction goes, it's primarily a stock transaction with 80% of the value in shares, with
Okay.
certain sales and other related milestones. And again, that keeps everyone motivated. And then 20% is the cash component. And the total value of the deal is roughly around 5 million Canadian. But the
Okay.
key is that it does add a significant revenue pipeline to Predictmedix. And at the same time, the clients that come in with Simtipass, I mean, hey, they can use all of our screening solutions. So it's about revenue, it's about new clients, and it's about turning the offering of Predictmedix into a complete enterprise solution for workplace. And again, I mean, at the same time at Predictmedix, I mean, our focus is more on long-term growth. It's about how can we position and grow Predictmedix to be perhaps one of the AI healthcare leaders in the global space. And the way how you do it is not just through organic growth. I mean, of course, we are growing organically. There is a lot which is happening behind the scenes, but at the same time, it's about acquiring strategic technologies that complement our own technologies.
Yep.
And that's how we are growing at Predictmedix.
Yep. That makes sense for sure. And I have one more question for you. I've noticed that by looking in the news recently, it seems like Predictmedix has a new news release every single day now or so. And one of the ones that caught my eye was with Kingswood Capital Markets. You guys have a partnership with them, and it's about potentially uplisting to the NASDAQ. Can you maybe touch on this and how this partnership is going to help benefit Predictmedix?
Yeah, so Kingswood Capital Markets, I mean, they're one of the largest mid-tier investment banks based out of New York City.
Okay.
Again, if you look at just what they have done this year, they have put together, I would say, over 10, 12 SPACs with around 100 to $150 million each.
Cool.
And clearly, it was more about them finding us and seeing the potential in Predictmedix in terms of how this can be scaled as a world-class AI entity. So I mean, essentially, it was Kingswood Capital that reached out to us, And again, I mean, I personally don't come from the investment community. I mean, I used to be an academic, a professor back in the day. So I mean, imagine you get a random call from the managing director, and then you're like, okay, what is this all about? Then you Google them, then you get on a few more calls, and then you realize that, oh my gosh, this is something which can be huge for Predictmedix and for
Yeah.
shareholders of Predictmedix as well. So the vision there is about scaling Predictmedix to a point where it can uplist to NASDAQ. And really, quite frankly, that is where you are able to access that sophisticated investor base that has a much more
Yep.
understanding of technologies than the small cap world. So with Kingswood, they want to support us with business development. They want to support us with strategy. They want to support us with acquisitions. And ultimately, they want to support us with that uplisting to NASDAQ.
Yeah, that really sounds like a beneficial partnership, especially for Predictmedix. And like you said, with the potential uplisting to the NASDAQ, really just bringing some more eyes on the stock and the company to help get some more support behind it. That sounds like a really awesome partnership.
Absolutely. Because you know what? I mean, one of the things that happens all the time is, I mean, I end up getting these random calls from investors, I mean, whom I personally don't know. And at times, the questions that I get, I mean, I just realize that a lot of people just don't understand the technology space. They don't understand AI. And
Yeah.
quite frankly, at times, I have to tell them that, guys, we are not selling face masks. We are selling a disruptive technologies. It's like even the clients at times, they're like, what are you talking about? Like, really? We want to test it out. So like with Flowwater, with Aspen, I mean, these guys tested out the technology. They like with Flowwater, they saw what the technology brings to the table, and that's part of the
Yep.
reason they signed on for a 2-year contract covering both their US and Canadian operations. So we are truly disrupting this health tech and workplace health and safety space. And again, I think uplisting to NASDAQ is going to play a big role in terms of Predictmedix getting the credit that it deserves, considering what we are doing.
Yeah, I think you guys are really doing some innovative technology, and it's definitely a space that not everyone fully understands and can fully grasp the technology behind it, especially when it comes to AI and machine learning. But I really think you guys are doing some cool stuff, and I totally agree. So that's pretty much all I have for today. I do want to give a huge shout out and thank you to you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to come on here. So I really appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
So there you guys have it. That was a super exciting and fun interview for me to do personally. Like I said, my background is in software engineering, and I've actually worked on artificial intelligence solutions previously. So deep down, I'm a huge nerd for this kind of stuff. So I really enjoyed doing this video. I hope you guys did too. Again, let me know down below in the comments whether or not you like these type of interview videos, and if there's some other companies that maybe you want me to sit down with somebody, either the CEO or someone on the management team in a future video, because I can definitely go after that and try to do that. But again, I hope you guys found this video informative. It's pretty jam-packed. There's a lot in there, I know. So definitely take some time to let it all sink in. Again, if you did like this video, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel. There's a whole lot more content coming your way. So I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.